The world needs to focus on Kenya today, where things have gotten very serious. What started as protests over the last few days has now turned into a major crisis for the whole country. Young Gen Z Kenyans were protesting to remember last year's deadly unrest and the recent death of an activist, Albert Ojwang, while in police custody. Now, the government is calling these young people terrorists. Kenya's Interior Minister, Kipchumba Murkomen, is blaming the protesters for the violence. He says they are terrorists who are trying to perform a coup and take over the government. He defended the police's actions, saying they had to stop people from trying to get to the Parliament building and the President's house. He said, "This was terrorism pretending to be disagreement. There was no peaceful protest. It was just riots, chaos and lawlessness." He added, "Let me be perfectly clear. We condemn the criminals who, while pretending to be peaceful protesters, brought violence, stealing, sexual assault, and destruction to our people. This has nothing to do with protesting or freedom of speech. It was an illegal attempt to change the government of our country. What the police did yesterday was stop an attempted coup." But protest leaders say that's not true. They believe the government is calling it a coup to avoid talking about the real problems. These big protests started across Kenya on Wednesday. It was the one-year anniversary of when protesters stormed the parliament because of new tax plans. That day, June 25, 2024, was the worst day of last year's protests, where about 60 people were killed in total. This year's anniversary protests have also been terrible, with many people getting hurt or killed. The government admits at least 10 people died, but the human rights group Amnesty Kenya says the number is higher, at 16. They claim most were shot dead by the police. On top of that, at least 400 people have been injured, and 61 have been arrested. The families of those who died are heartbroken and are demanding that someone be held responsible. One grieving woman said, "He has left me with a 2-month-old baby, and our other child is a 2-year-old with cerebral palsy. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just want justice for him, because I don't know how I'll even begin. It's not fair. I just don't know. It's not fair. It's just so sad." The police used a lot of force, shooting live bullets, firing tear gas, and using water cannons. Some protesters fought back by throwing stones and running at the police. In the capital city, Nairobi, things got out of control with looting and fires. Thousands of businesses were damaged. Shopkeepers were seen looking through the wreckage, with some reporting they lost thousands of dollars. One said, "The losses, we think, might be 100 million because of all the machinery. If you point the camera over there and up, you'll see it's a huge loss of 100 million. The United Nations has spoken out against the violence, asking for everyone to remain calm. This recent chaos was set off by two main things: the anniversary of last year's anti-tax protests, and the death of a 31-year-old blogger named Albert Ojwang while he was in police custody. He had been arrested for criticizing a top police official online. 6 people, including 3 police officers, have been charged with his murder, but they all say they are not guilty. People are getting angrier with President William Ruto. Even though he canceled the unpopular tax hikes last year, people are now furious about how the government is cracking down on its critics. Rights groups say that since last year, at least 80 people who spoke out against the government have disappeared. The police have often been accused of using illegal force to crush any disagreement.